In the vast emptiness of space, silence is not just absence, it is expectation. For decades, humanity has listened to the stars, hoping to hear something. Anything that proves we are not alone. Radio telescopes scan the cosmos day and night, collecting whispers of cosmic noise. Most of it is predictable, natural emissions from stars, galaxies, and distant quasars. But every so often, something breaks the pattern, something that doesn't belong. On a quiet night in Ohio, a massive radio telescope pointed toward the constellation Sagittarius. It was part of a long-running search project, attempt to detect signals from extraterrestrial intelligence. The system worked automatically, recording data onto long sheets of computer printouts. No dramatic alarms, no flashing lights, just numbers. And then, it happened. For 72 seconds, a powerful signal surged through the telescope. It wasn't random noise. It wasn't static. It was structured, precise, strong, far stronger than anything the telescope had ever recorded before. The signal rose in intensity, peaked, and then faded away exactly as expected from a distant source moving through the sky, and then it was gone. Days later, as researchers reviewed the data, one sequence stood out. 6IQ5, a strange combination of letters and numbers, representing the intensity of the signal over time. It wasn't just unusual, it was unprecedented. One astronomer circled the sequence in red ink and wrote a single word beside it. Wow. Signals from space are common, but this one was different in 3 critical ways. First, its strength. It was about 30 times stronger than typical background noise. Second, its frequency. It matched a very specific band known as the hydrogen line, considered a universal quiet zone ideal for interstellar communication. And third, its behavior. It followed a perfect pattern, consistent with a distant, non-terrestrial source. This wasn't random. It looked intentional. In the universe, hydrogen is everywhere. It emits radiation at a very specific frequency, one that scientists believe any advanced civilization would recognize. Because of this, many researchers assumed that if aliens were trying to communicate, they might use this exact frequency. And that's exactly where the signal appeared, right where we would expect someone to speak. After the discovery, scientists did what they always do. They tried to repeat it. They pointed the telescope back to the same region of space. They waited. They listened. Nothing. The signal never appeared again. For months, then years, astronomers continued scanning the same coordinates. More advanced telescopes joined the search. But no matter how long they listened, the result was always the same. Silence. Whatever sent that signal had stopped or had moved on. The first question was obvious. Was it us? Could the signal have come from Earth, some kind of interference, reflection, or classified transmission? But the data didn't match. The signal had no known human signature. It didn't bounce like a reflection. It didn't behave like a satellite. And it came from deep space, not Earth. Maybe it wasn't intelligent at all. Maybe it was just a rare cosmic event. A comet. An unknown astronomical phenomenon. But again, the signal didn't fit. Natural sources tend to repeat or behave unpredictably. This signal was clean, focused, deliberate. It looked designed. The signal appeared to come from a region near the constellation Sagittarius. But space is vast. Pinpointing an exact origin is nearly impossible. It could have come from a star system, hundreds of light years away, or something even farther. By the time it reached Earth, its source could already be gone. If the signal came from another civilization, it likely traveled for years, Decades, maybe centuries. Which means what we heard wasn't happening now. It was a message from the past, a moment frozen in time, a voice from a civilization that might no longer exist. This is the question that haunts scientists the most. Why only one signal? If it was a message, why not repeat it? If it was intentional, why stop? Some believe it could have been a narrow beam pointed directly at Earth. For a brief moment, others think we simply weren't listening at the right time again. Or maybe it was never meant for us. Decades later, a new theory emerged. Some scientists suggested the signal may have come from a comet specifically, a cloud of hydrogen surrounding it. But this explanation faced criticism. The signal was too strong, too precise, and comets had never produced anything like it before. The mystery remained. There's another possibility, a more uncomfortable one. What if we misunderstood the signal? What if our assumptions about communication, about intelligence, about patterns are wrong? Maybe the signal wasn't structured. Maybe it just looked that way to us. A coincidence, amplified by human curiosity. Today, the signal remains one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in astronomy. It has inspired decades of research, new technologies, new listening projects. Humanity continues to scan the sky, hoping for another moment like that, another anomaly, another wow. Somewhere out there, in the vast darkness of space, something sent a signal. We don't know what it was. We don't know why it happened, and we don't know if it will ever happen again. But for 72 seconds, the universe wasn't silent. And then it was gone. No follow-up, no explanation, just a brief interruption in the cosmic quiet, a signal that came from nowhere and disappeared back into nothing, leaving behind only one word: